Hi guys, my name is Ronke Adekombi, aka Auntie Roro, your most impressive storyteller. I love to speak, I love to write, amongst many other things. Welcome to Storytelling Basics, where I talk about the elementary things you need to know about storytelling. At least if you intend to tell a good story, and really you should. The truth is, storytelling is not just about you cooking up some fictional things that didn't happen, trying to form some fictional characters, and getting together your story. Storytelling is a tool. It's a tool for change, it's a tool for development, it's a tool for passing your message across. Nowadays, there are courses online that you can take on storytelling storytelling for business, how you can tell your business story. And you think that telling your business story is a lot different from storytelling for entertainment. They are not so far apart. The truth is, knowing how to tell a story is a basic skill. It doesn't even have anything to do with whether or not you are into the movies or the entertainment industry. Storytelling is one tool that is always handy at all stages in life, even training your children if you need that. Today, I'm going to talk about protagonists, but not about, I've already spoken about the role of protagonists in one of my videos. In case you missed it, you can check the video out on my Instagram page or my YouTube channel, Auntie Roro, and please don't forget to follow me and also subscribe to the channel. Now, to do a brief recap, a protagonist is an idea or someone that the story revolves around. It's an idea or someone that a story revolves around. The protagonist may or may not be sympathetic. Now, this is coming into what I'm teaching today. I want to talk about the kind of protagonists you can have in a story. You can have a protagonist that is sympathetic or one that is empathetic. One that is sympathetic or one that is empathetic. Now, what do I mean? What do I mean by a sympathetic protagonist? A sympathetic protagonist is likable. So the emotion he draws or she draws from you is that of sympathy. The person has, in the course of the story, you have developed an affinity for that person, and you are beginning to think of that person subconsciously in terms of a friend or a family member. While an empathetic protagonist is one who is able to make you, as the audience, feel that you recognize a shared humanity with them. When you watch that protagonist, you can understand the protagonist's point of view. There must be something about the character of that protagonist that strikes a chord. It's not even about how well behaved or how badly behaved the protagonist is. The storyteller must have woven a masterpiece that tugs at the heart of the listener or the watcher. And I'm going to give you a good example. I don't know how many of us have seen the movie Negotiator by Samuel L. Jackson. In that movie, Samuel L. Jackson was a police officer whose specialty is negotiation. Then, as the movie progressed, Samuel L. Jackson holds other people hostage. The hunter now becomes the hunted. The one who hunts, yes, now becomes the one that is being hunted. So the hunter, yes, becomes the hunted. So you can imagine, this time around, they now needed to bring in a negotiator to talk to him. So even though the protagonist, who in this case was Samuel L. Jackson, was wrong, many people who watched the movie wanted him to escape from the police. Even though we didn't agree with his method of holding people hostage, we understood his reasons for doing that. And he was able to draw what I would call our empathy. At that moment, our definition of justice became letting the protagonist off the hook. Have you seen movies that the man is a thief, he stole, but the way the writer had woven the story is such that even you, the watcher, the last thing even though you have a righteous sense of right and wrong, but at that point, your sense of right or sense of justice is telling you that the best thing that can happen in this movie is for the man who stole to go scot-free, and that is the role of, that's the job of a storyteller. You know, letting the protagonist off the hook in that instance was a feeling that was developed in us by the writer. That's the job of a storyteller, or what I call a writer. Our unconscious, though it was like, this guy is like me. At the end of the day, when we were watching the movie, we could, even though it wasn't a spelled out thought, we could identify with the guy. We could say things like, this guy is like me, and if I was in those same circumstances, this is what I will do for myself. You know, those were the kind of thoughts that the writer had unconsciously written on the templates of our hearts while we're watching the movie. So, but what I'm trying to say right now is that there must be an empathetic bond between the protagonist of your story and your story watchers or your story listeners. They must be able to bond empathetically with your protagonist, who is the center of your story. Otherwise, you're going to lose your audience, and you're going to leave them with a feeling that the story should have ended differently. Honestly, as a writer or as a storyteller, one thing you must always avoid is that feeling when people watch your movie and they feel that this ought to have ended differently. Okay, I love you, and I hope you're able to learn one or two things today. See you next week for another edition of Story Time. I love you, and have a fantabulous rest of the week.